one summer, many of you know that I used to work at church camps. And one summer I worked as a backpacking guide at a Lutheran summer camp in Colorado. And my first trip was with a youth group from Kansas. And the night before we left, the group's adult chaperones came up and they let me in on a tradition that they had. They would, before heading out on the trail, they would hide a rock in each of the kids' packs. And about halfway through that first day, they would lead a devotion about about the secret weight that they had been carrying in their packs and how to free themselves of that. And talking about the idea of that sometimes we carry weight with us, sometimes we carry burdens with us. So I did my part. I kept the kids away, from the backpacking center while the adults loaded rocks into their packs. But I have to admit, since my pack was there too, I kind of took it into the other room and tore it apart before we went. And they must have known that because there wasn't anything in there. So we hiked about 2.5 miles and at 10,000 feet. And if you've ever hiked anywhere with children, that's a long way. And the youth minister suggested that we should check our packs at that point. And the kids groaned and moaned as they found their rocks and threw them away and lightened their burdens. I was thankful not to have to tear apart my pack again, since I already checked it. We covered another 3 miles, probably gained another 1,000 feet of elevation. We made camp for the night. And so I unloaded my pack, I set up my tent, unrolled my sleeping pad, and I yanked out my sleeping bag, which was down at the very bottom. And something was not right. They had gone further than I thought. They had taken my sleeping bag out of the stuff sack that it was in, unrolled it, put a boulder down at the foot of my bag, probably 15 to 20 pounds, wrapped it back up, stuffed it back down, and then repacked everything around it. So it looked perfectly normal, and I'd been carrying a ton of extra weight on my back all day, and I didn't even realize that it had been there. This memory gets me wondering, and I want to ask some of you all, what is the heaviest thing that you've ever carried over a distance? What is the heaviest thing that you ever carried? Yeah. A big boulder? You carried a big rock one time? Yeah, they're heavy. What else? What else have you guys carried that's heavy?
Jackhammers.
Jackhammers. Oof. Bricks. All right. Not a washing machine. Yeah. Children. Yes. Children are not only heavy, but they're hot. Like that's one of the things that I realized. It's like this is a little heat magnet.
Maybe something that you've done wrong, but ain't really told them about or.
Okay. So we could be carrying some guilt or shame. All right. Anything else? Yeah, Ms. Lindsay.
A horse.
You carried a horse one time? The horses are exceedingly heavy. So with this, and I also got thinking about this because my dad's in town, and growing up, the thing that I always wanted to be able to do, and I still haven't been able to do it, I can remember we had a water softener downstairs in our basement. And what do you need to put in water softeners? Rock salt. Yeah, so he would carry 2 80-pound bags over his shoulders and walk down the steps, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the entire world. I could never do that. So, but I got thinking about this whole idea of heavy burdens, and kind of with the children's sermon and all that, because of the misunderstanding that takes place between Jesus and the Samaritan woman in our gospel lesson. All right, where does Jesus meet the Samaritan woman today? At the well. And what is she there to do? Get water. All right, this was a primary job that women were responsible for in Jesus' time. And in many places of the world, it's still a primary responsibility. They needed to draw and haul about 5 gallons of water for their family's daily cooking, cleaning, washing, drinking. 5 gallons is about 65 pounds. That was heavier than my backpack weighed for that entire week. And women would, and still do in many places, carry this precious and necessary water miles back to their homes. So it's easily understandable, right? When the Samaritan woman misunderstands what Jesus is offering when he says, everyone who drinks of this water from the well will be thirsty again. But those who drink of the water I will give them will never be thirsty again. This woman thinks Jesus is talking about the daily burden of water she has to carry for miles through the sun. But it seems like Jesus is talking about something else. A different kind of burden, maybe somewhat to what Bobby's talking about. A weight that she might not have even known that she was carrying. Much has been written, much has been speculated about this woman at the well. All right? And usually this centers around her having 5 husbands and currently living with a guy who she's not married to. And many people have written and said and hinted that somehow this makes her a woman of loose morals or whatever. And yet this doesn't add up, because we know in the first century, did a woman have any power or control over who they married? Nope. Did first century women have the ability to divorce their husbands? No. And nowhere does Jesus ever say to this woman, go and sin no more. There's no mention of sin. But there is something unnamed, yet oppressively present, weighing her down. I think we see this most clearly by what time the woman goes to the well. Anybody remember in the story what time she goes? Noon. And it seems like it's only her and Jesus at the well at noon. Why do you think that is?
It's hot.
It's hot. Yeah, nobody in their right mind would be there at that time. All the other women would have probably gone in the morning. For whatever reason, this woman is carrying something, some weight, that she feels obliged to exist in isolation as an outcast. I think it's interesting that neither the woman or her burden is ever named. And I don't think this is an accident, because in John's Gospel, as you read through John's Gospel, most of the important characters in John's Gospel go unnamed. The mother of Jesus, she's never called Mary. The Samaritan woman, the man born blind, the beloved disciple. And I wonder if this is an invitation to put ourselves, our names, in their places. And I wonder if this is also why the woman's burden, her unbearable weight, this private suffering, isn't named specifically. How many of us know all too well what it's like to be heavy burdened, to be hurting, to be isolated and alone? I know I've been there. And how many of us have not only felt this way, but also were hopeless that there was ever an end to this? I'm not entirely sure what happened that day at a well in Samaria 2,000 years ago. And yet it's clear that something miraculous takes place. We hear of an isolated woman finally getting to put her burdens down. I think it's interesting, and it's just a small little detail, but I think it's important. What does she leave behind when she runs back to tell her friends? She leaves the water jug, the 65 pounds, the weight, she leaves it all behind. The weight is gone, and she runs to tell these neighbors, people that she had been estranged from and separated from, what has happened to her. Maybe without fully realizing that Jesus has returned her to herself and returned her to her community. It's a miracle. As sure as the blind see and the dead are raised, so too are the outcast restored and the heavily burdened given rest. Perhaps it came through the gift of time, through the gift of conversation, through the gift of care and concern. Little known fact, Jesus spends more time talking to this woman than any other single character in Scripture. Through contact with the presence of Christ, she is reminded of her worth, she is reminded of her value, she is reminded of the truth that God loves her. Whatever was weighing her down, it no longer defines her, and it no longer defines the rest of her life. She can live again. She can serve again. And she immediately goes and rejoins community and shares her joy and tells them where to go to get that same joy. And the best news for all of us this morning is that this same powerful gift from God is still given freely. Many of us still carry burdens that inhibit and limit us. I know. I've carried guilt. I've carried doubts. I've carried fears, regret, shame. Much like I've carried this water jug throughout the beginning of worship. And like this water jug, our burdens make our lives unwieldy and difficult. This morning we are invited to lay our burdens down. Take a moment. During the offering, I want you to think about something that has been weighing you down, something, a burden, a pain, a piece of suffering. Offer up a prayer. I want to see if we can leave these things at the altar as we come forward for communion. We believe that at Holy Communion we experience the real presence of Christ. With a bite of bread and a sip of wine, Jesus seeks to remind us of our worth and assure us of his undying love. Sins are forgiven. Life is restored. A resurrection happens. Put your burdens down. You may still live with the scars. You may still live with the consequences. But know that the pain, your shame, your suffering, your burden no longer defines you. We don't get to hear how this story ends, right? And maybe again we're invited to imagine our own ending. So I ask us, how will your encounter with the living, resurrected God go this morning? Come and see.